Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. Now, we're going to talk about the chemical trails that are going on in the sky in a second and what the Met Office have to say about that, and also another freedom of information request. But before we get to that, one of our wonderful lawful helpers on this channel, and I can't say at the moment which one because we don't want to alert any authorities, is who lives in a different country, and you may know him. He has been, we've done various presentations together. He's a good bloke. But he's in somewhat a pickle of a situation in his country, and is looking to come back to the UK. He was actually in the UK before and was doing some good stuff. He was helping people left, right and centre, and I was sending people off to him for help. However, he's trying to get out because in where their country is, in his country is, things are beginning to kick off and he wants to get out. And I don't have room to put him up for a few days or a few weeks whilst he gets himself sorted. So if anybody's got a spare room or has got an Airbnb or a property or anything like that and would like to help the cause, do get in touch with me, richard@vobes.com. And we'll see what we can do. Obviously, this gentleman is willing to work and be honourable and help out with any legal issues and things. Well, I say lawful issues. But that's, anyway, let me just leave it at that. I just said I'd give a call out because we've got to help one another where we can. Meanwhile, we've got to try and help everybody else understand what they're doing to the skies. And interestingly enough, somebody very kindly sent me what the Met Office have been saying about it. And you'd think they would know what's going on. Well, they admit it. They admit what they're doing. So I'm going to put my headphones on here, these little earbuds, and let's have a little listen to what this gentleman is going to say about the situation. And then we'll have a look at a freedom of information request. So let me just get up the appropriate screen here before me headphones fall out. So here we go. This is the Met Office. Let's hear what they've got to say.
Geoengineering is a method to counterbalance the effects of global warming owing to the increased concentrations of atmospheric greenhouse gases.
So first of all, he's making the erroneous conclusion that CO2 is the problem. And he, from the Met Office, Jim Harwood, I think his name was, Hayward, Jim Hayward, his name is, from the Met Office, and they're giving us, they're setting it up, they're setting up the problem, and they're telling us what we already know, the myth of man-made global warming. Okay, let's carry on. So it says here, what different types of geoengineering are there?
Geoengineering or climate engineering generally falls into two specific categories. The first of which is called carbon dioxide removal, which, as the name suggests, is basically capturing carbon from the atmosphere and storing it.
That's not a sensible policy, seeing as CO2 is the gas of life. We need that to grow plants, and animals need to eat the plants, and we obviously eat both. I'm not sure that is a very sensible policy. You're mucking about there with the atmosphere. This is not good.
The second method is what's known as solar radiation management. Now, solar radiation management differs from carbon dioxide removal in that what you're trying to do is reflect an additional amount of sunlight back out to space. So solar radiation management is basically trying to reflect sunlight back out to space, leading to a cooling to counterbalance the increases in greenhouse gases.
Well, it's very cold when the chemical trails are up there in the sky. We certainly notice the difference. I mean, we're in the end of May. We're fast approaching the summer, and we're only given a few days of sunshine in the UK. Wherever you are, it might be slightly different. And the idea of reflecting the sun back out, the sunlight is the energy of life. CO2 and sunlight are two of the most important aspects that we want. If you start mucking about by taking the sun out of the equation, you are effectively destroying life. And this is so basic You cannot believe how ignorant and how stupid these people must be. And these are people in positions of so-called knowledge and power, and just peddling the same old rubbish that everybody knows is rubbish, that they've been told and are paid to do.
There's been various different solar radiation management schemes that have been mooted as being possible, all of which are basically trying to reflect sunlight back out to space.
Why would you do that? Why? Why would you not use some common sense and go, this is barking. This planet has been around for millions of years. We don't, and a few people on it running around like ants have somehow caused this warming, really? And it's all our fault. So what we're going to do is interfere with the planet by reflecting away the sunlight and potentially kill us all off? You are mad.
One of the most popular is to inject some reflective material into the stratosphere. This mimics really the impact of volcanic eruptions.
So we want to imply that there are more volcanic eruptions. That's a good place to live, is it? By chucking out stuff into the atmosphere, which presumably will eventually fall down. And are we not breathing all of this?
Which have been shown on the observational record to cool climate. There's another method which is artificial brightening of low-lying stratocumulus clouds. If you inject some aerosol into these low-lying stratocumulus clouds, you can brighten them. And of course, when you get a brightening of the planet, you're reflecting more sunlight back out to space.
Yeah, and you're decimating life on the Earth. I mean, it's bonkers, isn't it? Isn't this not just absolutely bonkers?
Those are the two most popular solar radiation management techniques that are in the press at the moment.
And what are the pros and cons, it says here, for geoengineering?
Carbon dioxide removal is often thought of as a relatively benign kind of geoengineering because you're simply reducing the amount of carbon dioxide
and people
in the atmosphere. It's not quite as simple as that because a lot of the land that would be used for general agricultural practices like they are at the moment would have to be converted into land for specific growing of biomass burning. So there's certainly some ecological implications that are associated with CDR. Solar radiation management, the main conclusions that are coming out of the solar radiation management studies is that you cannot get a no temperature change Earth, no global mean net temperature change, without there being some regional side effects. So although you can hold the temperature of the Earth fixed at, say, present-day conditions, you will get regional responses in both temperature. For instance, the poles will warm up more than the equator.
Yeah, so in other words, you're meddling around and you're likely to get side effects, and we know that side effects can be extreme, and you can't plan for them, and it's going to be terrible for some people. So why muck about with the atmosphere? Leave it alone. Stop injecting all this stuff into the atmosphere, which we know, of course. I mean, and he's putting a very general case about it, isn't he? He's telling us that it's benign and all of this, and putting it into as friendly words as is possible. But of course, he's not actually telling you that the other substances they're shoving in there with the aluminium and the barium, is it? And the various other. He's not telling you the nefarious things about decimating the farmland, and the dark forces, and they're trying to kill off the food, the great famine that will come because things won't grow, the poisoning of the atmosphere. All of it, and he probably doesn't know that. He probably only knows the tiny bit, the story, that is plausible and maybe it makes sense. Well, no, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Stop meddling with our atmosphere. It's our planet. Nobody asked you. You didn't come to the people of the planet or to the people of the country and say, is it all right if we do this? We think there's a problem. Is it okay because you've got to breathe this in? You need to okay it. No, we need to say absolutely not. This is not happening. So the Met Office are telling you what's going on. They've said they're spraying this aerosol stuff in there. But let us just have a look at this email here, because this is an email that came in from a chap called Shane, and he says, "Hi Richard, this is an email, he's going to show us in a second, I sent to the Civil Aviation Authority, and the one I received back, I'm sure they have a scripted answer for all. It's shocking they treat us with such contempt and insult our intelligence at every instance. Thanks, Richard. I thought you'd like their response. So bear in mind the Met Office has told us that this is what they are doing. So this is what Shane sent to the Civil Aviation Authority. He says, to whom it may concern, I'm making a freedom of information request regarding the geoengineering and stratospheric aerosol injections taking place over Bedford in the UK on behalf of myself and my community. Please can you provide the names of the companies or branch of military carrying this out? Very good question. Please can you provide all information on the flights on the dates of the 1st of the 3rd, 2024 to present day, as this is when we started recording the flights and the planes and have recorded them. So it's telling the Civil Aviation, we know what you're doing. Thanks very much, Shane from Bedford. And here is, so he says that, and here is the response. And the response is, let me just move that so we don't get distracted. So, thank you for contacting us, they say. Can we put your mind at rest? Aircraft are not allowed to dispense any chemicals into the atmosphere in the UK. Really? And yet we're all seeing it. This is the Civil Aviation Authority, but maybe they don't know what their pilots are doing. What you're actually witnessing, oh, here we go, this will be good. Here's the truth at last. What you're witnessing is the formation of persistent condensation trails. Oh, contrails. Yes, I think we're being conned again by aircraft transiting along the air traffic service routes, also known as airways, that are established over the UK. Contrails are formed when water vapour, which is emitted from aircraft engines as part of the combustion process, comes into contact with the surrounding air. Their formation is completely dependent upon the ambient atmospheric conditions such as temperature, pressure and humidity. If the air is dry, low level of humidity, the trail will only appear, as it were, for a short plume behind the aircraft. Whereas, if the surrounding area or close the saturation, high-level humidity, the contrail will evaporate slowly, or not at all, or will be... What do you mean, not at all? You telling me that that in and of itself, what? You're telling me that an aeroplane could go at a certain height and the vapor will just not evaporate at all, ever? It's just going to stay up there? You want us to believe that? Really? This is ridiculous. And will be long and persistent, occasionally spreading into cirrus-like cloud. Really? That explains why contrails appear behind some aircraft and not others. And then it changes the size of the font as if that was just cut and paste, of course. That's the standard reply. I hope this information is helpful and alleviates concerns about the contrails you're seeing. You can find more information here at Aircraft Contrails, government.uk, and here at Chemtrails Debunked. Oh yeah, like we're going to go and see that. That's the aerosociety.com. And it also finally goes on to say the BBC has also recently, like we're going to, believe the BBC, they've covered an article, Chemtrails, What's the Truth Behind the Conspiracy Theory? Yeah, a general inquiries team, external information services, civil aviation theory, blah, blah, blah. And you can see that the emails are there, inquiries at caa.co.uk, and their website is www.caa.co.uk. They're even on Twitter, so if you want to @UK_CAA and tell them what you think about their response, then you can do that. This is disgusting and is blatant lies, and our skies are continually being filled up with this nonsense. They are lying to us. We know it. They know we know it, and they're squirming to try and show something. But we must get to the bottom of this, for otherwise... This is the end of humanity, isn't it? Not that we want to worry about it. We will find a way out of this, but we've got to wake people up and let them know what is exactly going on. And these lies of contrails is just not going to wash. Thanks for watching.